If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
Welcome, everyone, to our October 6th, 2024 edition of Open Mic America. I'm Rich Fassler, your MC for tonight's show, and I'm joined by Robert Edgar, our interviewer, and Capo Dave Williams, our engineer, and also the founder of this wonderful show, and the creator and builder of Dandy Hybrid Guitars, which you'll hear more about later. Our mission at Open Mic America is to support your local open mics, where you can go and see songwriters performing their original music in person. Tonight, thanks to Zoom technology, we can travel all around the country and see those same performers in their own homes. Without gimmicks and frills, this is the DNA of American music, the tapestry of story and song that has been weaving us together for generations. So, let's get comfortable as I introduce tonight's performers. Performers, you can wave as I say your names. Oh, hey, by the way, you can find links to their work on our website and on this YouTube video. Tonight's show features Norm Bowen from that lovely island, Alameda, California. Steve Anderson, also from Alameda, California. Charles Absher, Avondale Estates, Georgia. Mike Simpson, Saratoga, California. Alan Clausen, Vancouver, Washington. George Eckerd, Decatur, Georgia. And Dave Irwin from Vancouver, Washington. So, let's start tonight's show with our first performer, Norm Bowen from Alameda, California. Norm performs regularly at open mics at the Fireside Lounge in Alameda and the Front Porch in Lafayette, California. He also, a little trivia here, he also performed recently at Cave Cafe. This is French, so maybe it's Cave Cafe in Montmartre, Paris. So, Norm, it's all yours.
Well, so nice to be back. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to play two songs from my CD, which is, I don't know if you can see that or not. Not too well, huh? Maybe at that level. It's called The Lupins and the Poppies, Songs of Love, Loss, Injustice, and Resistance. And you can listen to it at my website, which is posted. You can buy it there, of course. I wouldn't mind that. But you can listen to it anyway, and I'm also on streaming services. Excuse me. The first song is the title track from the CD. It's called The Lupins and the Poppies. When California became a state in 1850, it passed an anti-miscegenation law which prohibited marriage between blacks and whites or mixed-race individuals. That law was not repealed until 1948, which is not my memory, but I was born in 1948, so it's not that long ago. The song, the fictional song, is about a Welsh coal miner and an African-American woman who fall in love in a coal mining town in the Mount Diablo coal fields of Contra Costa County, just beyond Mount Diablo, here in the Bay Area. It's their story of this illicit love affair and the implications of laws like the one that I am writing about. This song is called The Lupins and the Poppies. when the lupins and the poppies come in bloom. Wash the hills with blue and gold. Then my thoughts return to you and the life we made there in the fold. When first I set my eyes on you, dancing on the village square, love came streaming in my heart, sunlight flashing through your hair. When the lupin and the poppies come in bloom, wash the hills with blue and gold. Love comes streaming in my heart, for the life we made there in the fold. We roamed the old Diablo range, far from gossip's prying eye. On Mitchell Creek we made our vows, where the fairy lanterns reach the sky. We married in the month of May, underneath the live oak tree. No church would open up its doors. 'Twas the law that said we were not free. When the lupin and the poppies come in bloom, wash the hills with blue and gold. Love comes streaming in my heart, for the life we made there in the fold. They swore no doctor could be found. They'd called the midwife out of town. I buried them together side by side, outside the Somersville burying ground. I work the old black diamond vein. I labor in the slope alone. I dream my son works by my side to sort the lignite from the bone. When the lupin and the poppies come in bloom, wash the hills with blue and gold. Love comes streaming in my heart, for the life we made there in the fold.
Very nice.
Good story. Very nice, Norman.
Thank you. So this is the second song from the CD. It's basically my memories of living with my wife in upstate New York in the early 1970s, and the wonderful fall lifestyle and colors, of course, and a special shout out to the very dynamic folk music scene in upstate New York, specifically Cafe Lena in Saratoga Springs, and the Fox Hollow Folks Festival, which lasted until about 1980. So this song is called Big River, which is a reference to the Hudson, Upper Hudson River. If you go down to Big River in the fall, the fireflies have blinkered off and the loons no longer call. Summer days have come and gone, the chill is in the air. We'll gather round a chimney fire with winter songs to share. If you go down to Big River just by chance, when the sugar sap is running and the quaking aspen dance, trees are red and yellow, the maple and the birch, the air is crisp and cold, they feed the hungry at the church. Big river, set me free and carry off the memories gently to the sea. Ice is on the skating pond, but the warning sign is clear. There won't be any skating till the turning of the year. Kids will all be older, no skating with a chair. They'll all be talking still about the sighting of the bear. The swimming hole lies quiet neath the little Hoosick Bridge, water rushing over Slate, tipped up by the ridge. A fisherman has cast a fly that ripples in the pool. No one else to bother with the children back in school. Big river, set me free and carry off the memories gently to the sea. Canoes are all in storage, the sealant's been applied, the snowshoes have been taken down, the rawhide's been retied. No more lakes and portages till sometime in the spring. No more wretched black flies to terrorize a thing. Shots ring out beyond the hill, a hunter is about, stalking grouse and pheasant in a field that he leased out. Following a game trail for the wily antlered buck, hoping that the morning will bring him better luck. Big river, set me free and carry off the memories gently to the sea. Foragers are checking on their secret mushroom spots, the chanterelle and bolete more plentiful than not. They'll sell them to the restaurants in Saratoga Springs or trade them for a ticket to a Cafe Lena Sing. Over in Fox Hollow, the music's gone indoors. The campers and musicians have all fled to warmer shores. The Beers family will huddle on a coming frosty night to sing in joyous harmony and usher in the light. Big river, set me free and carry off the memories gently to the sea. If you go down to Big River on the sly, to wash away the years, to brighten up your eyes, the cottage hasn't changed a bit, there's nothing much to see. You've grown a little older, you're an upstate refugee. If you go down to Big River in the fall, the fireflies have blinkered off and the loons no longer call. Summer days have come and gone, the chill is in the air. We'll gather round a chimney fire with winter songs to share.
Great lyrics. Wonderful. Thanks, Norm.
Thanks very much.
All right, Norm, let me pass you on to Robert so we can learn a little bit more about you and your music.
Okay.
Hi, Norm. Yeah, saying that I was up in Syracuse during the early 70s.
All right, not far away.
Yeah, not too far away, and hearing some of the music there. The first song was seemingly a sadly but timely crime against humanity, and it's interesting to me the way you juxtapose elements in both your songs of what is seen, what is heard at the time of the writing and of the reference in this case, along with the meaning of it all for the people, not necessarily now, but at the time, and try to embed that, which is something I certainly someone else from Hudson Valley, Pete Seeger, brings that kind of balance. Do you feel you're coming from that tradition?
That's a great compliment for me, and I do. Yes, I definitely try to write songs in a tradition. I try to make them historically accurate as much as possible, and with detail, and as detailed and as fresh detail, and not the cliches that have crept into folk music for quite some time.
Yeah, I think when we get our sources from media instead of direct experience, we tend to pick up cliches that the media gives us. And,
Maybe so. I'm not prepared to answer. I have to think about that one.
It just it comes. They come from somewhere, right? But if you've had,
It's the storytelling tradition of folk music that I'm interested in, and I'm interested in real issues, like racism in California. You know, we live in a state that's quote unquote quite progressive, and yet we have a terrible racist history in California, and a lot of these things students don't know about. My students didn't know about them when I was teaching, and it's just important to bring them back and put them into context and make people feel what it was. It's not just racism, but what did this mean to people under the circumstances?
yeah, absolutely. My son is married to a black woman and lives here in California, so I get kind of fresh reports when racism kind of enters the picture. On that, it does. What I hear in your songs are attempts and kind of documents of the actual experiences, what is seen, what is heard, what is smelled. Sometimes in the actual the subject area that you've got.
Yeah, no, in both songs, all of the references to flowers and trees are correct. The creek really runs where I said it runs, and that's where you can see the fairy lanterns or globe lanterns, which at the time in the 19th century was a flower, because all the flowers and trees had a spiritual or meaningful value for people. So they didn't see it the way we did. It's not, and they certainly saw it way differently than Native Americans did. But it meant something to them. And the globe lanterns, which I actually saw on the Mitchell Creek Trail in Mount Diablo, just about the time when I wrote the song, in the 19th century, that would have meant to these young lovers, it was solace in the face of great adversity. So,
Yeah.
So I threw it in. I saw the flower. I saw the globe lilies, and I tossed it in as fairy lanterns. So,
Do you do much research when you're writing your songs?
the ones about my family. That last time I performed on your show, I did a song, "My Grandmother's Guitar," which is part of a big family project because I have hundreds of letters and documents and ledgers and stuff that have been passed down, and I'm trying to make sense out of them. And I've written 3 or 4 songs, including My Grandmother's Guitar, and so that's an ongoing project. And I also have a project for a song cycle about the life in the Mount Diablo coal fields. And I've written 4 or 5 songs about them. 2 of them are on the CD, but I have a bunch of others that there's going to be a 4th of July song and Christmas in the mines, because it was a very unique kind of community that over time became more insular, and the racial, or really the ethnic diversity and ethnic conflict broke out. It was reported in the New York Times, I think in the 1870s, of a war between the short-lived war between the ethnic factions, because the bosses were bringing in lower-paid Italian workers that ended in the death of someone. So what I want this song cycle to do is to portray the full and rich experience of people living a very difficult existence. The life expectancy of the Welsh coal miner that who narrates that song was only about 40 or 50 years, at most. And his child, and remember, he's grieving his wife, but he's also grieving the loss of income from a child who would have worked in the mine next to him. The child's life expectancy was even less than that.
Yeah, amazing. And there's so much with lyrics and such. These are breadcrumbs that are left for others to find too, and that's very nice.
Yes, on my CD, there's a booklet with lots of background material, and it's also on my website. So you go to my website, you can read the background material for all the songs.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I enjoyed them very much, Norman. I'll keep an eye out.
Thanks very much.
For you. Take care.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let's go with Steve. I see we've just had a couple of performers sign on, Michael and Nell, but let me go to Steve Anderson. We're going to stay in Alameda, and then we'll figure out what to do. So Steve is from Alameda, California. He performs at Gilman Brewing Company in Berkeley and Yet Wah in San Rafael, and he's performed here a number of times. Always a pleasure to have him back. So, Steve, it's all yours.
Thanks, Rich. Always a pleasure to be here. It was nice to see Norm on the program. He's getting to be a good friend. He and I are extreme opposites in a couple of ways, and I think that's why we like each other. I mean, he's into this historical stuff, and I'm ADHD. I live in the moment, so we have lots of things to talk about. He's becoming a good friend. Anyway, I'm not sure if I've ever sung the song that I'm about to sing on Open Mic America before. I think if I had it'd be quite a while ago, and I'm hoping that if there's anybody out there who does remember it, doesn't mind hearing it again. It's a standard issue, basic anti-war song. Seems like the people who cause and initiate wars are not the people who fight them, and the people who fight them don't come out so well usually. So it's called Killing My Reflection. When I was just 18 and unemployed, didn't have a plan. A wife was due to bear a child, it was time to be a man. So I enlisted, they promised me I'd be all that I could be. I was proud to serve my country, my kin were proud of me. Well, the leaders of our country always tell us what is right. The leaders of our country, well, they wanted me to fight. Well, after 7 weeks of training, military drill, they sent me overseas and they expected me to kill. Well, I was born to raise a family, to honor my creation. The purpose of my time on earth was never devastation. But the leaders of our country always tell us what is right. The leaders of our country, well, they wanted me to fight. Now the guys that I'd be shooting at, they loved their country too. Wives and children scared to death, well, what else could they do? Just like me, we all were there with a duty to perform. I'd be killing my reflection in a different uniform. But the leaders of our countries always told us what was right. And the leaders of our countries, they sent us there to fight. So we watched our fellow soldiers getting massacred and maimed. We killed each other's comrades, their remains remain unclaimed. Just like me, we all were there with a duty to perform. We were killing our reflections in different uniforms. But the leaders of our countries always told us what was right. The leaders of our countries sent us there to fight. The leaders of our countries always told us what was right. But the leaders of our countries, they don't show up to fight.
Great lyrics. Great lyrics, Steve.
So I had to get special dispensation from our founder to sing what I'm about to sing, because it doesn't go back before 1925. It only goes back to 1930 something, early 30s. I don't know exactly. But the way I'm presenting it is such a transmogrification from the original that I got credit for originality and credit for early, what do you call it, being predated. And Dave just said, okay, you've been on the show a few times, we'll let you do it. And the funny thing is, it's a love song, and you might not see it that way instantly. I'll give you a clue. The title of the song is Big Fat Woman. But times change, fashions change, preferences changes, and there are changes among, different groups, different ethnicities, different nationalities. So it's not so unusual that Hootie Ledbetter, who wrote this song, wrote it for a fairly hefty woman, and he loved her. The other interesting thing of this, and the reason why there's a good deal of originality in my presentation, is that although Hootie Ledbetter, known as Leadbelly, was famous for being the king of the 12-string guitar, the only recording available of this song that I've been able to find, and I have looked, is him playing the piano. Not his best work. So anyway, I thought, he's the king of the 12-string guitar, I should do this song on a 12-string guitar. And I should also point this out, that this was I worked up this arrangement for the most part when I was 25 years old, long before I set the guitar down for over 50 years. And I'm just kind of resurrecting my arrangement of it, and hopefully maybe even improving on it a little bit. But it's called Big Fat Woman. It's a big fat woman, the meat shaking on a bone. Well, it's a big fat woman, got the meat shaking on a bone. Well, it's a big fat lady with a whole lot of shaking going on. She's born and raised way down in old Louisiana home. I love my rider, gonna tell all the world I do. Love my rider, gonna tell all the world I do. Well, I love my rider, gonna tell all the world I do. She's good to me, baby, like I wanna be to you. Then I woke up one morning and the foul lemon rider was gone. I woke up in the morning, found lemon rider was gone. Up one morning, the found lemon rider was gone. rocks her daddy in the good old-fashioned way. Yeah, she rocks her daddy in the good old-fashioned way. Oh, she rocks her daddy in the good old-fashioned way. She just keeps on rocking it, Lord, till the break of day. Then there's a big fat woman, the meat shaking on a bone. Well, there's a big fat lady with a whole lot of shaking going on. She's a big fat woman, more than I can handle all alone. Better save me, Lord, I think the woman wanna take me home. Said, save me, Lord, you know I think the woman wanna take me home.
And there you go.
The part in the middle, I did that on purpose.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And it sounded great, too. It sounded great.
Works. Very creative.
All right. Oh, okay, Steve. Let me pass you on to Robert, and maybe we can learn some more about that special part in the middle.
Most important part, always.
Usually I charge extra when I do that.
That's great. That keeps it an original. That's the original part. So, Steve, good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chatted on
Good to
here
see you, Robert.
a few times. So, I noticed you adapted to 12-string from the piano version. I was wondering, were you playing 12-string back in the day when you picked that off an album?
I started playing the guitar when I was in the Navy. And, what's the guy's name? I was playing at a coffee house in San Diego, and this guy who subsequently became quite famous.
Leo Kottke?
Sorry?
Leo Kottke?
No. Yeah, I'm not getting it. It may come to me. Anyway, he came in with a 12-string guitar, and I thought, well, that's the most amazing instrument I've ever sounded in my life. So I asked around, and I found some guy who knew somebody in Mexico who would build a 12-string guitar for me. And I didn't have anything else to spend my Navy salary on, so I bought this 12-string guitar, and I came back, and it was the most beautiful sounding guitar I've ever heard in my life, except the neck was a 2x4, and the thing was almost impossible to play. So the guitar that you just saw me playing, I bought in 1963 because it was playable. Didn't sound as good as the other one, but it was playable, and it's in its old age, it's getting to sound pretty good, I think. But I played that a lot. I did play a 6-string guitar to be part of a rock band in college for a short period of time. I had a little Fender Mustang. But basically the 12-string was my thing until I started playing again in 2018. And then the pandemic hit, and I thought, well, I don't have a social life. Maybe I should learn to play a 6-string guitar. So that's the whole history.
Yeah, I was drawn to a 12-string back in the 60s, hearing Tim Buckley, who played one usually when he was playing alone. I found it's a great instrument to play if you're not playing with others, because it gives you so much fill for the sound. You know?
Yeah, you get a lot of bang for your buck, that's for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then if you're playing with others, you either do the rhythm part and back, or you buy an electric, like McGinn, and you crank it up when you want to do a solo. So you come up from San Diego, you say, where you?
Well, I was in the service in San Diego. I grew up in a suburb of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh, really?
And didn't come to California until 1968, after I was after the second time I dropped out of college. So
Uh-huh. So you were playing in bands and whatnot back at that time. Were you playing folk music with your 12 string or
it was mostly folk music. The band thing was just a college thing. Another very accomplished folk singer got into an argument with his girlfriend. They were breaking up, and she said, "You know, you're so fat, you should start a band and call it the Goodyear Blimp." And we were at a bar and we were all drinking, and he looked across the table and he said, "Well, that's a good idea." He said, "Are you in?" So that's how the band got started, and that's my only band experience. The rest of it has always been, folk music kind of things. Of course, back in the '60s, it was all covers. I wasn't into writing my own stuff. Never thought that I could.
uh-huh. Yeah, that was um, part of doing originals was something that came a little later, and you weren't really a folk musician if you were doing originals after all, because folk music was referencing music from before your time.
Yeah,
So
that is there's been a problem. What do I call myself? Am I a folk singer, or am I a singer-songwriter, or am I just some idiot with a guitar?
uh-huh. Well, of course, there's always a combo platter that's available. Thank goodness for those of us who do those, including those of us who make fools of ourselves from time to time.
Part of
It's
the
good to
fun.
have the identity anyway. You hate to be a fool without an identity. I think that's nothing worse than that. Hey, Steve, it's always a pleasure, and I love you playing, and I'll see you again.
Thanks, Robert. Good to see you.
Steve, you crack me up. Did you say I'm just just an idiot with a guitar? Oh, you're killing me. Hey, listen, just a little trivia. I too, in the '60s, was in a rock and roll band, and I too played a Fender Mustang,
Oh wow,
cherry red, candy apple red, I think it was.
that was
Fender
mine.
Mustang. Huh?
I said that's exactly what mine was.
Okay. Do you still have yours?
I sold it uh, recently. 3 or 4 years ago, uh, and it was I had done strange things. I cut a hole in the back of it and installed a fuzz tone and put buttons on the front of the guitar to make it work, and
Good God.
all these things.
Very
And
nice.
Good
anyway,
God, man. It's a classic. What are you doing?
yeah. I was good in destroying things. But anyway, I sold it to a guy who was a music teacher for underprivileged children in Oakland, and I thought, well, it went to a good home, and I'm glad it's still working.
There you go. All right. There you go. I've still got mine in the corner there. I pick up every once in a while when I want to remember the good old days.
I can't play mine. I couldn't play it. The neck is too narrow.
It is.
Yeah.
All
the neck
right.
is too narrow.
Okay. Good hearing you again, Steve. Hey, listen, we are going to now leave California and we're going to head on east. We're going to go to the great state of Georgia, where Charles Absher from Avondale Estates, Georgia, is going to play some tunes for us. And if you want to catch him performing, you can catch him performing at Waller's Coffee Shop in Decatur, Georgia. So, Charles, take it away.
Hey, it's good to be back. This is my 12th appearance on Open Mic America. And I think my first one was back in November of 2021. So, obviously, I've been having a good time. I'm going to resurrect some songs that came from my band days as a folk rocker. I'm trying to adapt them to a solo ambiance, if you will. And so I must warn you, these are not happy songs. So here we go. The first one's called Cry Out. Cry out in anger, cry out in pain, cry out for what will never come to you again. Cry out for standing firm out in the rain. Cry out in silence, cry without song, cry because you don't receive what little meaning may come along. Wait for satisfaction, wait for the journey's anguish deep. Whoa. Cry out in danger, cry out alone, cry out in sickness, leaving your body unable to atone. Drain the poison, drain it till there's nothing left to give. Oh. Cry to the heavens, cry out below, cry out because you cannot perceive where your life will go. Blindness shield you from reminders you can hold. Whoa.
Great guitar work.
All right, this next one is, I guess it's a song about isolation. In fact, the name of it is Isolated Man. 15 miles of dusty road I've traveled down the state. The sun beats down upon my brow. My face is masked in a scowl. My pony takes me farther than my body wants to be, but I can't go back along my trail for fear of what I see. I did not ask to be a stranger. I did not ask to have no friend. In this God-forsaken land I travel through, isolated man. They come up from behind and to the right and left, leaving me western sky to lead me away from death. Their footsteps grow no faster, but they do not go away, and I am afraid that I might fail, for I see my life being balanced in these scales. I did not ask to be a stranger. I did not ask to have no friend. In this God-forsaken land I travel through, isolated man. Their strength comes from many, while I'm less than one. Who can these devils be that dog me across this sandy sea? I know that I am faltering and cannot stay ahead. I turn to face my foe, but there is only sand and sky and bones. I did not ask to be a stranger. I did not ask to have no friend. In this God-forsaken land I travel through, isolated man, isolated man, isolated man.
All right, Charles. That's great. That's great. Okay, let me pass you on to Robert. We can learn a little bit more about you.
Nice songs, nice singing, by the way, and nice playing also. The first song, did you, when you started writing that, did you start with the riff on that?
Yes. I came up with that riff, and people seemed to think it was a pretty good riff. So I developed a song along it. So.
It sounded to me, if I were to do that song, I would have started with the riff. So I thought I'd ask and see if there was a commonality there.
Yes,
So
there is.
Whereas the second, it sounded more like it started with a story.
Well, the second one, I actually wrote that before my folk rock days. It's actually was supposed to be a bluegrass song.
Really?
And so it had that two-beat thing to it, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I've also made some changes in the voice. It's first-person voice now.
Uh-huh.
And so that, that predates my folk rock days. So I'm trying to just add a little upbeat tempo to something, that I present on stage.
I like them both. You're changing the narrators is interesting to me. It's so much that is unsaid when we write songs and play them for other people. And one of them is the understanding of the person singing the song and the relationship to the audience. The first one is one that we assume, I think, that you are being forthright and knowledgeable and a believable narrator. On the second one, it's a more obviously a fictional narrator, although with a fictional story that we looked for an underlying metaphor for to go for our information, on that, which seems a peculiar but often used that we all use, positioning.
Yeah.
of the two.
Well, there are two comments I can make about the two songs. One, the first song, Cry Out, my wife says I wrote that song because at the time I hated my job. And the second one, I've run into this voice aspect, first person, third person, before, and I went to a Beth Nielsen Chapman workshop, and she was the first one that told me that first person voice has more impact. It has more impact on people than a second, third person story. So I do a lot of switching to first person in a lot of my songs. Not all the time, because every rule is made to be broken. But I do agree with her that it does have a lot more impact, I think, as a first person voice.
And then we have someone like Randy Newman, who brings a entirely untrustable first person narration to a song. And you go, well, is this for real? And you go, well, you have to rely on something else beside the narrator for those. But it's interesting that it's always unspoken, and that you either you get it and you assume it, and then you can hear the song, or you have to work at it as you hear it. Like in some cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, in this particular case, the verses were third person and the chorus was first person. So I kind of mixed up a little bit. So
well,
I participate in some online workshops with some folks, and that was the first thing they suggested. You need to put it all in first person. So.
Well, good. That's a good thing. My reaction, of course, to recommendations, not of course, but my reaction to recommendations is to do the opposite, or to try to pick a third thing that is outside of the boundary of the recommendation.
Well, my philosophy on that is to accept the suggestions, take them under consideration,
right.
And in the final analysis, you are the decision maker. So,
well, yes.
If you want it there, if you like that, you put it in there. If you don't, you don't. There's no obligation to absolutely conform your song to a person's critique of even if it is a constructive critique.
Yeah.
And so, that's the whole thing. You can't take it all as gospel. You have to just decide for yourself what you think is best for the song.
I so agree. Very nice songs. I enjoyed them, and nice guitar playing too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charles.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Charles. What if it was George Martin who made some suggestions about your song? Would that change anything? It's a rhetorical question.
Yeah, it would kind of change things since he's dead.
All right. Picky.
That would be some kind of seance that I would have to.
All right. Okay, we're going back out to California now. And we are going to we're ready for a treat. We're going to hear some songs from part of our OMA team. We're going to Saratoga, California. We're going to hear Mike Simpson. You can catch Mike at many different virtual open mics. He plays, of course, on Open Mic America as well as Open Mic Arona, and you can also catch him on Music Matters Showcase, streaming from the East Coast. So, Mike, take it away.
Thank you, sir. All right, so this one's both of my songs tonight are taken from the real life experiences. This one, over the course of about 3 days, I observed the events in this song, and I hope I don't get any hate mail from animal lovers. But anyway. Crow just sitting in the middle of the road, pecking on the carcass of a roadkill toad, best push to the side. Don't push your luck, crow ain't something makes me slow my truck. Get on away, old crow, it's time to go. Move on with your strut and move along. Move along, old crow. Crow in the branches, feathers ruffled in the breeze, just dropping his scat wherever he please, mocking all that pass with a gravelly call, waiting to see what they might let fall. Get on the way, old crow, it's time to go. Move on with your strut and move along, old crow. Teasing the cat. Cat pretends he just don't see that. Crow comes down, well that's a mistake. Now the cat is dining on a fresh crow steak. Never just one crow, always two or more, pushing all the other birds about. Three is a murder, it's a party when there's four, and we call it a rookery when they come by to score. Crow. Crow's got a language, oh there is no doubt. Just stop and listen, you'll figure it out. Got Crow talking down, doing his job, says the corn's gone ripe. Come peck up a cob, get away, old crow, it's time to go. Just flopping and hopping, move along, old crow, get away, old crow, it's time to go. Just flopping and a hopping, move along, old crow.
Oui.
Very sweet.
Choose the next song because it's personal stuff, and it's been not that long since our 47th wedding anniversary, and this is about my wife and I. The breeze, it is warm and scented with grass, and the evening settles down, easy and slow. Sorry, no can do. I actually experience physical distress at untuned things. All right, let's hope that works. My apologies. The last strokes of the sun's brush still colored sky is far overhead. The stars roll by. And they may be watching and wondering how this will go. After all these years, you would think that they'd know that from start until finish, we always go slow. I don't care if the stars roll by. We sit hand in hand and follow the fade as the darkness creeps over the rich velvet blue. And your head on my arm keeps me warm as it cools as up in the dome. The stars roll by. And they may be watching and wondering how this will go. After all of these years, you would think that they know that from start to finish, we always go slow. And don't care if the stars roll by. The chill and the dew fall together at last, and we sigh and stand up and move on. Another soft moment will follow us home, as down the dark sky the stars roll by. And they may be watching and wondering how this will go. After all of these years, you would think that they'd probably know. Oh yes, they know that from now to forever we'll always go slow. And don't care if the stars roll by. And don't care if the stars roll by. And we don't care if the stars roll by. 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 We don't care stars.
Beautiful song, Mike.
Oh, your wife will love that.
Yeah, wonderful song. Wonderful. Okay, Mike, let me pass you over to Robert, and he can grill you.
Oh yeah.
That was absolutely wonderful. Wistful, I think, but just perfectly molded for that. So I have to ask about that instrument that you were banging on there. Yes.
Well,
How's it?
this here would be a Dandy hybrid guitar. It's made by a fellow named Capo Dave Williams, who also came up with the idea to have this Open Mic America thing. And you know, you get me going on the details, I might go on forever, but it's a wonderful thing. If you go to you search on Dandy hybrid guitar on online, you will be presented with images of them, and you can see the lovely woods they're made of, and get a discussion of the construction techniques and the numerous innovations that there are on it.
Yeah.
And you will also, of course, have the opportunity to purchase one if you wish.
Well, that sounds like a good thing. Do you get a free capo from Capo Dave with every? Purchase?
I don't remember if I did or not.
Oh, the other thing I thought I'd ask you about on that are your finger picks, which are shaped and formed to the shape of your fingernail, as opposed to bluegrass picks that are often for the
Yeah, these are
their side.
Alaska picks. ALASKA is the brand name on them. They're basically PVC tubing that's then cut and shaped and stuff. They're not particularly expensive, but you can mostly get them online. Some truly advanced guitar stores carry them, but
Those are well, those are nice though. I thought I'd show. Here's one that a friend made for me, who's a sitarist, and he makes his own. In fact, he made them for others, but it allows you to go back and forth.
yeah, that's very
when
much
you,
like a Tomlinson pick, which are no longer available. But yeah,
huh?
yeah,
I hadn't seen.
these go back and forth too. You can strum or pick.
Yeah, I noticed you playing it that way when you were playing. I noticed that you were both strumming and picking on there, and it was seemed.
You know, in point of fact, the under the finger, what people think of as bluegrass banjo picks, you can strum and you can go both ways
Yeah.
too. It's just a matter of figuring it out. Yeah,
Yeah,
but those are also available in brass. They make a brass version of the pick.
so a softer version. Oh, or the ones that you're talking about with
The
that
ones
come
I'm
from
playing are the
PVC.
soft ones. The brass ones are harder. Those are.
Yeah.
I've mostly seen those used just one on this finger by people playing push style, you know, claw hammer type of banjo,
Uh-huh.
but, who are looking for tremendous volume when they're playing in an old time band that has a lot of instruments. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how long ago did you write these that you just played?
Crow is recent. It's within the last maybe year.
Uh-huh.
The other one is one of the. I started off songwriting, writing in just one particular frame, and then moved to write in a number of other frames. All of my original 40 or so songs that I wrote were largely intended for the consumption of the people who were my co-religionists that I went to Bible studies and stuff with, and tended to deal with issues that were going on within that community, and attempting to explicate various Christian scriptural positions on the kinds of things that were happening. So that's where I started, but then after a while I wasn't as involved with that group because it was an age-based thing. And so I started writing outside of that. And one of the early things that I did I'd say probably that song's about 22 years old, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Roughly 1992.
Your guitar, I believe this, at least some of the songs that I've heard you do that were more recent songs are more jazz.
Oh yeah, I write in different genres. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And a nice job in all of them. So are you playing around anywhere in the near future?
Well, I actually had a live gig last Friday. Was it last Friday? No, a week ago Friday. At a pub, a friend of mine, he plays in a duet, and his duet partner was not able to play, so I sometimes cover for him. Most of my band playing in my life has been because somebody gets sick and I step in. You know, they need a bass player, or they need a drummer, or they need somebody to play, something else.
That gives you a place on Earth. I mean, there's a certain need, and then you are chosen apparently to satisfy that. What is very quickly, because I know we're running out of time, but tell me again your relationship to the Hardly Strictly Bluegrass.
Oh, I knew the guy who founded it, and I've done a number of things for them. I don't necessarily what I do doesn't necessarily have to happen by being there. I just do some support stuff with them.
Uh-huh. Well, great. Yeah, he passed a few years ago, I
Yes,
think.
he did.
And what a wonderful gift he's given with all support staff to the Bay Area. That's incredible.
I'm also friends with someone who appeared on stage with a bunch of big names. Kathleen Galderstein. She wrote a fabulous song called "Joy for Free," which is kind of a I don't know if people play it or not, but it's sort of a theme song about the joy for free that was given to people by the festival. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I hope to see you again soon in real space.
In real space,
virtual space.
All right.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank
Always
you.
love listening to you.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Mike. always great hearing you play. So here we are, halfway through tonight's excellent show, with 4 more great performances to come. And you're wondering, how can life get any better? Well, how about a chance to win one of the coolest new acoustic guitars around? That's right. I'm talking about the Dandy hybrid guitar designed and built by our own Capo Dave Williams, our Open Mic America founder. And this is just like and similar to the one that Mike Simpson was just playing on his 2 songs tonight. So getting a chance to win one is really very easy. Everyone connected with the OMA show, regardless whether you're a performer or a volunteer host, will get a ticket with their name on it dropped into the official Dandy Guitar Fishbowl for a drawing that's going to be held on December 15th of this year. That's right. Perform or be a host on one or more of our OMA shows, and you could win your very own handcrafted Dandy hybrid guitar. You may be wondering, why do we call it a hybrid? Well, just imagine if a good arch top guitar got married to like a Martin D28, their offspring would sing like a Dandy guitar. I don't write this, I just read it. And the more you perform or volunteer, the better your chances are. So look, for more information on these very innovative guitars, check out the link at the bottom of the openmicamerica.com homepage, and keep playing here, or join the staff and do some volunteer work, and good luck. All right, so let's move on to the second half of the show. And we are going to go from California north to Vancouver, Washington. And we're going to hear Alan Clausen. Alan began playing guitar when the Beatles came to town. a few decades ago. One of his highlights was singing "Season of the Witch" by Donovan with other musicians at Speaker's Corner in London's Hyde Park. A more recent highlight as a songwriter was being asked to write a song about facilitation, alchemy, and the Higgs boson particle. That's that's also known as the God particle. Some guys get all the breaks. So, Alan, take it away.
Well, it's great to be here. First time being with you all, and I'm just loving the variety and quality, and also helping me get connected for the beginning of this show. So this first song is called Dégagé, and dégagé is a word given to me by a friend. It's a Haitian Creole word that means we'll find a way to make it work. With whatever we have on hand, we'll find a way. The word is so beautiful in and of itself. I just wanted to write a song about it. So here's that song. Dégagé, dégagé. Dégagé, dégagé. Somehow we will find a way where there's no way. There's a way. Earthquake shakes the island. Earthquake breaks our hearts. We turn to those we love, and once again we can start. We may not have much of the things the world can see, but we've been given hearts and hands to make the things we need. So we say, dégagé, dégagé. Dégagé, dégagé. Somehow we will find a way where there's no way. There's a way. Baby lost his mother, and a mother found her child. Together they'll make a new home, even if it takes a long, long while. How can we make music with no instruments to play? First we'll take a cigar box and make a ukulele, ukulele. Dégagé, dégagé. Dégagé, dégagé. Somehow we will find a way where there's no way. Dégagé. Free of expectations of how things should be done. When others are ready to give up, that's our rising sun. The way will show you the way. The way's not holding back. The very thing you're looking for is not something that you lack. So we say, dégagé, dégagé. Dégagé, dégagé. We'll find a way where there's no way. There's a way. Dégagez. Dégagez.
Ah, Alan, very nice.
Nice song.
Hey, Alan, can you check to make sure you've got original sound on?
Let's see. It says off.
No, you want it on.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh,
Jeez.
that's okay. I mean, I could tell, and other people I got a message could tell it wasn't clicked on.
Okay. So let's see. What do I click here?
So that thing that says original sound for musicians, you want to click it so it says on.
Well, I'm clicking the microphone symbol.
No, click on the off, on the, where it says that.
Okay, where it says originally off. Is that better?
It does sound a little better. Does it say original sound for musicians on?
Yes.
Okay, you're good to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry to hear about that. Darn.
No problem.
Okay. Next song, recently written at an online songwriters workshop led by Matt Megan here in Portland, Oregon. Does several each year, and it was my mainstay for staying connected to music during COVID. And this particular song was written for my father, who passed away a couple of years ago at the young age of 97. And honored to say this is the first time I'm singing this song outside of, or some of you are all hearing it, a wider audience tonight. It's called Back in Durango. As I remember the streets of Durango, I see a young dad, father of three. He's walking down to the Animas River. One hand holds his fly rod, in the other hand he holds me. As I remember Dad in the kitchen, tying all the colors round the hook in the vise. He'll catch a rainbow in the skiffles of the river. All he has to do is make one trout look twice. Durango, he's back in Durango. As I remember him casting over the river. One time he caught a bat in his flight. He pulled it in with a whole lot of laughter. You never know what you'll catch in the night. As I remember, Dad was a pilot, tail gunner Mike, best friend after the war. They took me fishing, they were a catching. Dad told me if I wanted lunch, I gotta catch one more. Durango, he's back in Durango. Oh. As I remember, we lived by the train tracks. Our rumbling house heated by a furnace of coal. Dad wanted better for Mom and us three boys. He's always looking for a new fishing hole. As I remember when we left Durango on Route 66, we're California bound. Between Bakersfield and LA, we rode the grapevine in our old Chevy wagon that rarely, no, never broke down. Durango, he's back in Durango. As we remember, gathered here in the courtyard, Mom's ashes are already here. We'll lay Dad beside her and they'll rest together neath Colorado's skies so blue, so clear. As I return to the streets of Durango, remember the places where we used to be. I walk alongside the Animas River, skipping stones across the water so wide, so free. Durango, he's back in Durango. Durango, he's back in Durango.
Wow. Great song. That's a great song. All right. Alan, let me pass you over to Robert, and we can learn a little bit more about you.
Hi, Alan.
Hey, Robert.
Nice to meet you. Enjoyed your songs a lot.
Thank you.
The first one, I often relate to things because they remind me of things that I've done. I wrote a song after spending some time in the Philippines, in Manila, and I came away with one word that's bahala na, and it essentially means God will take care of it.
Yeah.
Which was used fairly cynically by many of the locals there, but I liked the term.
Mm-hmm.
How did you pick up your term there? Were you in Haiti
No. A dear friend of mine, we both work for an organization called the Center for Courage and Renewal, and she and her husband traveled to Haiti many times, and from those travels adopted a young boy under 1 year old. So I've known them for quite a while now, and brought him to join their family. So there's 4 in their family now, 2 of their own children and 2 that they've adopted. So, and she told me the story of dégager, and it's such a beautiful sounding word, and the significance of it, the definition of it is so cool. And I also learned in ballet, dégager is actually a ballet term for a little flick of the foot. So there's something in this, like,
Oh, that's
we'll
great.
make it work. Just a little touch here is going to do something powerful, perhaps.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Um, was it after your father passed that you wrote um, your second song there?
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We had a celebration of life service for him in Durango where we had lived when I was 4 years old to 8 years old. And they had
Uh-huh.
actually retired there for a while. And it's Southwest Colorado, beautiful. And we were there at a simpler time for that town. And like so many towns, it's grown up quite large, and it's a sight to go to. But it's a great time in our family's life, and
Uh-huh.
so that those memories of him being a fly fisherman and tying flies in the kitchen and um, other things I remember from those days were in this song.
It reminds me Norm's songs that were referring to places where he grew up that may not be the way that they were. And
Right, right.
I think one thing we do when we write songs like that is to try to freeze them, uh, not always in Kodachrome, but in song anyway, and so that they exist. When I've written songs about where I grew up, I've done pages of notes just of images and memories,
Right.
events, things, sounds, smells, uh, and then chosen from that to put them together. But to have an abundance that's more than I need, so that I can pick those that seem to work best. Did you do anything like that with this
Well,
one?
the way I'm connecting with what you're saying is that for me, you know, some of my songs that might be my weaker songs are just they're not grounded. They're nice sounding words, but they don't, they're not from the earth. So it was an interesting exercise for me in this song to be really particular and really direct images. And because I don't normally do that with my songs,
Yeah.
um, it was a good exercise for me to have. It's a different kind of discipline to
Yeah.
remain true to the place. And I enjoyed, wow, look at that. I can do that.
So do you mean that your other songs are usually fictional in that
Oh, I don't
sense?
know. I may be even too critical of my songs, but it's just they're more maybe high ideas, or just not so, the universal and the particular, that whole
Uh-huh.
notion. I tend to be more just of general, I think, in a lot of my songs, but maybe others will think otherwise. But
Well, it's interesting. I mean, songs are. I, I can't imagine categories with or an area that have more categories that you could explore that have been invented throughout the world, throughout the cultures, than songs.
yeah,
So
yeah,
there's a lot to choose from.
right.
But yeah, it's odd when we write a song, we kind of throw the dice and see which category it's going to come up in.
Yeah, yeah. The
It's kind of
surprise
like
is the fun.
a divining rod that takes us one place or another.
Yeah.
What are you doing now? What are you working on now as far as songs go?
Oh gosh, I don't have any in the works right now, but the same organization that made me create Dégagé, that reference to the Higgs boson particle. I've been
Yeah.
asked not to write a song this time, but to sing a song called "Go in Peace" by Sam Baker, which is just a great song that I recently learned. I mean, heard and then learned, and then she just asked me to play it for this national event that's happening. So just getting ready for that performance is the next immediate thing for me. Um, yeah,
Oh, that sounds great.
yeah,
And yeah, again, there's a million ways to go through this world, and if you find a new topic that doesn't belong to the genre, that's allowed.
yeah, yes, yes,
I
yes.
that's I get down and kiss the earth when that happens when I discover
Yes, yes. Well, in this particular song, I highly recommend it. And part of it, the guitar playing is so nuanced. It's just like picking very few notes from the chord and this great deep, gravelly voice he has. It's a very short song. It's like 2 verses and a chorus, and it's in and out. It's a blessing song. It's just a sweet piece of music. Go in Peace by Sam Baker.
Very nice. I'll listen for it.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Ellen. I hope to see you again on here.
Yeah,
I like
I'm
your
happy to
songs.
come back. This is great. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we are heading to Nashville, Tennessee, and we're going to listen to Michael and Nell. They perform at open mic at Springwater. I've been told it's the oldest bar in Tennessee. They recently performed their Joe Hill Roadshow for Southern Labor Studies at UTN in Chattanooga. And they're also going to be playing the Joe Hill Show at the Woody Guthrie Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And because they came in kind of late, we want to do a quick little sound check. I'm going to ask Capo Dave to listen in. So if you guys could just, play a couple of lines of a song. I already checked your...
We know what all kids should learn, so there's books we ban and books. That's it.
All right.
Is that good?
What we need to do is take the overall sound volume down about 10%.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay, we can do that. About 10%.
Then we'll see about the balance. Okay, have a go.
Does that sound okay?
Let's have the whole thing, and when my hands go up, stop, and we'll adjust.
We know what all kids should learn, so there's books we ban and books we burn. We make it dangerous. Okay. Okay, and then I am going to play some.
I like it pretty well. Perhaps you could turn it down a very small amount, 3%. Your original sound is on, yes?
Oh, yes.
I thought so.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sometimes
Well,
sometimes we can sound.
all right. That's about it.
And I will be playing some fiddle on the next song, but I guess we'll just wing that.
Okay.
When I
Well,
get,
good to
get
see
it
you.
up
Good to see
here.
you. Glad you could make it.
Thank you. Yeah, good to see you, Dave, too. Remember last time we had a long conversation about all these people that we knew together in Nashville? We remember
Yes.
that. Okay.
We have a connection.
Okay, so I just want to say one thing about this song. So there's something in here that we refer to. It's called CRT. Now this is a very hip audience. I assume all you guys know what that is. It's critical race theory. Okay, it's something that some people in our country seem to be very concerned about.
I have a problem with that.
You have a problem with it. And the other thing I want to brag a little bit about this song was we played it on People's Music Network, and one guy there took it to Chad Mitchell. Do you guys remember Chad Mitchell from the Chad Mitchell Trio? He heard this song and he said, if the Chad Mitchell Trio was still together today, we would record this song or we would play this song. So we took that as the highest compliment. Okay, here we go. We're not, okay, here we go. We know what all kids should learn, so there's books we ban and books we burn. We make it dangerous to read 'em. That's our special brand of freedom. Pull the bad books off the shelves. We can't let queer kids be themselves. We want drag queens gone. We save kids from Babylon. America, land of the free, the greatest country in history. We are moms for liberty, and we'll stop your commie CRT. You'll find us at the PTA, enforcing freedom every day. Sad facts are indoctrination. Kids don't need that aggravation. They should never hear a thing about Rosa Parks or Dr. King. No talk of Jim Crow, and here's why. You just might make some white kids cry. America, land of the free, the greatest country in history. We are moms for liberty, and we'll stop your commie CRT. Will hit you hard on your school board or your schoolyard. We'll oversee how the country runs, lower taxes, tons of guns. We wage war on gay and trans. Their future will be in our hands. Our mighty, strong, small government will not need your woke consent. America,
yes, we will. They will. And we assume that everybody has heard of Moms for Liberty by now.
Yep.
Some of our
What an oxymoron.
patriotic. So as is
One last thing I want to say. I did co-write that song with Judy Class. If you don't know who she is, she's a brilliant woman who teaches at Vanderbilt. She's a playwright. She's won a bunch of awards for her, not only her songs, but also her plays. So I want to give her credit for sure.
Yep. Well, we actually, as we often do, at the last minute, we changed up our set. We hadn't planned on singing that song, but we tuned in and we heard all of these socially conscious songs going on, and we said, well, we better play one of them songs. And so there we go. And but not to get too serious, this song that I'm going to sing is a song that I wrote quite a while back. And it was, you know how when you write a song, sometimes you write a song as in a response to an emotional trauma or an emotional, a very intense emotional state. So that's how this song kind of came about. And we picked this out not only to lighten things up, but I looked around the crowd of other players tonight, and I thought, most of these guys will probably relate to at least half of this. So so here we go.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Bald, I'm going bald. It isn't what I had in mind at all. As I get older, my head gets colder, 'cause those follicles won't stay in place. They're down my back and in my face. Ain't nothing I can do about going bald. Ready? Fat, I'm getting fat. My waistline isn't where it once was at. I'm not too cute in a bathing suit, so I went and joined the local gym to try to be more slim and trim. But every time I go, I just feel fat. But I got love and the stars above, warm bed at night, and someone to treat me right. Oh, fat it really ain't so bad at all. But I got love and the stars above, a good pickup truck, and someone to treat me right. Ball, fat and ball, it isn't what I had in mind at all. Can't say I'm glad, but it ain't so bad. With that woman next to me in bed, and that old hound dog who licks my head. Things could be worse than being fat and bald. With a good gal next to me in bed, and an old hound dog who licks my head. Things could be worse than being fat and bald. There you have it. Story of my life.
What great lyrics! What great lyrics! All right, you guys. Let me pass you over to Robert. I can't wait for the interview.
And you shouldn't have to either. Hi, how long have you folks been making music in Nashville?
Oh,
Well,
a long time. Let's see, I moved to Nashville from California, from Los Angeles in 1989. The same year Michael moved there, right?
Nope, I moved here in '87 from actually not San Francisco, San Mateo, actually a little bit south of San Francisco. Yeah. And I was up there, and I belonged to the Northern California Songwriters Association, and things just kind of went along. I'm writing these songs and pitching them, and people would come out there to conduct seminars. People like Ron Cornelius, Fred Nobach came out, John Bettis came and gave a seminar, David Pomeranz. If you were in the Philippines, you might have ran into David Pomeranz at some point. So at one point, I just said, "Hey, this is stupid. I'm going to Nashville." And here I came, just packed up whatever I could fit in my 1972 Dodge Dart and drove across the country to Nashville, Tennessee.
But we didn't start playing together right away. I was playing with different other people, and I've been in a lot of different bands and stuff like that. And well, I guess when we really started playing together was we formed a band called the Shelby Bottom String Band, and our CD is called East Nashville Rag, and it was all about East Nashville, where we have been living since 1996.
Right.
And
So prior to joining the Shelby Bottom String Band, I was just a solo guy, and mostly I did instrumental guitar stuff. I discovered a guy named John Fahey quite a long time ago, and since I was very shy and very terrified of singing in public, I grabbed onto this guitar style because it was what I wanted to do, and so I just stuck with that for a while. And every once in a while I would sing. I remember doing an open mic I was in New Orleans, and I borrowed a guitar from somebody. I did an open mic and played a couple of instrumentals, and then I sang a song. I think I sang like a Cat Stevens song or something. And I got off the stage, and one person said to me, "Well, I like you better when you just play the guitar."
a lot of encouragement there.
This was not encouraging. I had people tell me, "I hate your voice." So not a whole lot of encouragement. But in 2008, Nell had written a song called "Don't Blow Up the Mountain," which we'll play at some point in the future, and it came down to they wanted to play it with a band, and and I kind of got conscripted into this band as the lead singer. So you sort of have to lose some of your shyness when you're the lead singer. So that's kind of how it all developed.
Yeah,
for
and,
me.
and the thing about that song that's kind of cool is we did a video of mountaintop removal, and you know, guys out west, you don't see that like we see it here. I mean, they blow up those mountains to get that coal out because it's a hell of a lot cheaper than hiring coal miners. And we did a incredible video, you know, mountains blowing up, and it was recently used for the COP 28.
COP 26?
COP 26, the International Conference for Climate Change. And they showed the video on that at that event. And it turned out we were the only Americans on the whole show. Everybody else was from Latin America or England or Ireland or somewhere. So we kind of represented America in that event with that film. So
It sounds like a good representation.
Yep.
yeah, it was great. We were honored.
And should say something about Moms for Liberty that Nell wrote with Judy Class. We did a video on that
Oh
song.
yeah, we have a good video up on YouTube. Well, it's actually on our website, which is michaelandnell.com.
Yep. And the video has gotten some good reception. Frank Durrell, I don't know if you're familiar with Frank Durrell, but he put together what do they call it? It was like a comic book style book about the history of American war, military history, of all the wars that we have, instigated and so forth. And he liked it so well that he passed it on to Amy Goodman.
Of Democracy Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So
I know I gave it to Medea Benjamin too from Code Pink. She's yeah. So it's gotten around.
So we feel like we're a really good company here because most of the people are into what we call socially conscious music.
Uh-huh.
And as Nell mentioned, we're members of People's Music Network, and we present there whenever they have an open mic situation.
Well, excellent.
Next question.
I loved your songs. Is this your first time on this series?
No, we were on here a while ago, and we had a long conversation with Capo Dave. Turns out, he and I, we know some of the same people and stuff like that.
Capo Dave and I used to have the same girlfriend.
No, yeah, there's that.
Not at the same time.
Wife, in my case.
I was in, and
Wow.
and
You got a lot farther than I did.
And oh, really? Yeah, right. Well, I was in a band with her, with Nancy Garwood. I was in the Buffalo Gals, which was one of the the earliest all-female bluegrass bands. I went to Nashville in '78 and played with them, played
And
fiddle with them.
Of course, that's actually how I got introduced to Nell, because
Well, when I first met him, he was with Nancy.
right.
So
Sitting at a table in a bar, and here comes Nell, and she, had something to say, and we just ran into each other here and there, and
yep,
one thing led to another, as they say, and
here we are.
here we are, 35 years later.
Wonderful. My daughter, Meredith Edgar, was just down in Nashville. They had a group of California Bay Area singers and songwriters who came down and performed down there for a night. And I think she...
Okay, great. Where do they perform? Do you know?
I don't have the...
Was it like a club or something?
Yeah. But there was a
Well,
group
there's-
of them that came down. So...
Might have been the Bluebird. The Bluebird hosts shows like that from time to time.
Oh, Bluebird Cafe is a very famous songwriter club here in Nashville. Well, it's crazy here. I mean, music everywhere, every night, it's insane. Really, there's no place else like it. More musicians per square inch than anywhere on the planet
You
are
can't
here.
walk down the street without tripping over a songwriter.
Right.
Well, lovely. Thank you for joining us again, and I hope you'll do it again. And I
Thank
get
you.
to hear
Thanks
you.
for having us. We hope to be back again.
Thank you.
Great. Take care now.
All right. Well, these are some great
Yeah.
stories here. It's almost turning into like a mini soap opera there. You'll have to write some songs about you and Capo Dave and your common loves. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Decatur, Georgia, and we're going to see George Eckert. We're going to hear George Eckert, and George hosts a music at Woodlands Garden in Decatur, Georgia, and he leads the songwriting lab at the Frank Hamilton School in Decatur, Georgia, and we're lucky he's going to be playing a couple of tunes for us right now. So, George, take it away.
So Decatur is abuts Atlanta on the east side, and Avondale Estates, where Charles Atcher lives, abuts Decatur on the east side. So Charles and I know one another, and in fact, we played together today in a songwriters round at Woodlands Gardens. Irony of ironies. So Charles, forgive me. The two songs I'm going to do, you've already heard today, which is kind of bizarre, and and I'm really pleased to be following Michael and Nell because both of my songs are sort of political in nature, and I was starting to feel a little self conscious about that. Now I feel less so. So this first one is called "Let My People Go." Moses said to the Pharaoh, "Let my people go." Pharaoh said to Moses, "This cannot be so." Moses led the Exodus and parted that Red Sea. He led them to the promised land so they could all be free. And he said, let my people go. He said, let my people go. Harriet said to the master, let my people go. Master said to Harriet, this cannot be so. She led them toward the North Star, away from slavery. She led them to the promised land so they could all be free. And she said, let my people go. She said, let my people go. Gandhi said to the generals, let my people go. General said to Gandhi, this cannot be so. He led them to the streets and they made the English flee. He led them to the promised land so they could all be free. And he said, let my people go. Yeah, he said, let my people go. Martin said, now governor, let my people go. The governor said to Martin, this cannot be so. He led them down to Selma for all the world to see. He led them to the promised land so they could all be free. And he said, let my people go. He said, let my people go. People said to policemen, let my people go. Policemen said to the people, this cannot be so. They marched and sang in protest on the TV screen. They're looking for that promised land so they could all be free. And they say, let my people go. They say, let my people go. We're all born to freedom like the birds up in the sky. We'll cast away your shackles until the day we die. You will find no peace if you think this isn't so. The answer is so simple, just let my people go.
George.
Hey, George, can I ask you as well, do you have the original sound on?
I do.
Okay. It just sounded a little strange to me, but it
Was the
still
banjo
sounds
cutting
fine.
out? Was the banjo cutting out?
Uh, yeah, a little bit. It might be due to signal strength. I don't know, but it was still fine.
I'm damn it. I I have all these microphones that I've tried over the years on this laptop of mine, and they all mess up. They make crazy sounds and they do funky stuff. So I'm just using the little microphone that's in the laptop itself.
Okay.
And I probably should forgive me. I got to do a little tuning here. It appears. And maybe I just need to get a new laptop.
And why not?
Maybe I need to get a new banjo. Maybe that's what the problem is.
Yeah, just one.
Hey, I like you. Okay, so yeah, I had fun singing that song today. I got people singing along with it, which is really nice. I saw somebody there clapping their hands, which was delightful to see. Okay, so this is a song that is kind of about our current political atmosphere, and I hope it resonates with y'all. Everybody's different. This is called Room at the Dinner Table. Everybody's different, but we're all the same. The rules may change. Excuse me. Yeah, everybody's different, but we're all the same. The rules may change, but it's the same old game. Some folks are big and some folks are small, but there's room at the dinner table for us all. Roberto came to Texas from Mexico. He was so little that he didn't even know. His mom came here just looking for a job, hoping for a better life. She prayed to God. Everybody's different, but we're all the same. The rules may change, but it's the same old game. Some folks are big and some folks are small, but there's room at the dinner table for us all. Susie has a curveball, watch it fall. Comes in slow, then drops off the wall. Coach says no matter, 'cause girls can't play. She'll have to try again some other day. Everybody's different, but we're all the same. The rules may change, but it's the same old game. Some folks are big and some folks are small, but there's room at the dinner table for us all. Buddy has a red hat, his brother has blue. Papa has old and Buddy has new. One leans left and the other one right. One is peaceful, one's raring for a fight. Everybody's different, but we're all the same. The rules may change, but it's the same old game. Some folks are big and some folks are small, but there's room at the dinner table for us all. Some people think they know everything. They want to be boss, they want to be king. Folks like that will come to see. They don't make a lick of sense for you or me. Everybody's different, but we're all the same. The rules may change, but it's the same old game. Some folks are big and some folks are small, but there's room at the dinner table for us all. Some folks are big and some folks are small, but there's room at the dinner table for us all.
Great lyrics. Great lyrics. All right. Those are great.
And no one can deny adequate banjo playing.
Yes. Very adequate. It was very adequate.
Thank you. I pride myself on that.
Supreme adequacy.
All right. Let me move you over to Robert. Take it away.
Hey, Robert.
Hi, George. Decatur.
Yeah, I would like to ask you about your finger pick because I play
Yes.
bare-fingered, and among the many things that I'm self-conscious about, I'm self-conscious about that, and but I've never found the finger picks that I like.
Uh-huh. Yeah, these were custom made by this guy. He's Indian and um, plays sitar.
Can you
And
put it
so,
close to the camera so I can see it?
yeah, there you go.
Okay.
How's that?
Yeah.
And Mike said that there are Western versions of this too. I wasn't familiar with that. But he made these. He made a set of these for Richie Havens
Oh
back
yeah.
some time ago.
I knew a guy
And
that used to be a sideman for Richie Havens.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, he said that his hands were huge, which is
Yeah, I
why I
have no
mentioned
doubt.
it. So if you have large fingers,
And I've seen these finger picks that sort of look like thimbles with little points on the end of them, and that sort of reminds me of that. But I've
uh-huh.
never been able to use anything like that. I've always just played bare fingered.
I've ended up playing bare-fingered most of the time, and it takes me like a week to get up to speed if I start putting finger picks on.
Okay, well, thank you for that affirmation. I feel less inadequate now.
Now, I did,
Adequacy, you can see, is very important to me.
yes. Well, playing banjo, it's good. My daughter, who I mentioned, uh, just got me started putting applications of strengthener on my fingernails uh, so that they wouldn't break as often, and that
So
when you're playing with your
you
fingers,
use your nails when you finger pick? A lot of people do.
I,
I
I
actually trim my nails down and use the fat of my fingers, so I get little
it's
calluses
kind
on
of
my
a
fingers.
yeah, it's kind of a combination when I play. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't just pick with my fingernails. I definitely hit with the the meat, but then the fingernails are there, and I keep them longer on my right hand so that they give them that backup.
I know people that do that. I just play differently, but I guess it works for me. But anyway, you were gonna interview me. I'm sorry, I just totally walked on your interview. I didn't
No,
mean to do that.
that's
I'm
quite all
interviewing
right.
you.
So, do you find other people in Decatur playing music like yours there? Do you
Oh
have
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
good group?
Charles and I both are involved in the Frank Hamilton School, and
Uh
Frank
huh.
Hamilton is Frank Hamilton is this amazing guy, and he lives just like a mile or two away from me. He's 90 years old. He used to play with the Weavers back in
Yeah.
the
Oh,
early
really?
50s.
Wow.
When Pete Seeger left the Weavers and went out on his own, Frank took his place as the
Wow.
banjo player with the Weavers, and you know he's played with Pete and yeah, Woody Guthrie and Odetta and all these stuff. He was one of the founders of the I think it's called the Old Time School of Music in Chicago, and so he's given lessons, guitar lessons in particular, but also banjo lessons to all these really kind of famous people. Roger McGuinn, for example, when he comes through Atlanta, stops off to visit with Frank because they're
Uh
old
huh.
friends. I mean, Frank is just the coolest guy. And anyway, he started this music school in about I don't know 2014 or 2015, and I got involved in it around maybe when I retired. I was a data processing IT kind of guy, and I retired in 2017, I guess, and I got involved in the school, and I started leading the songwriting lab. I think in 2019, something like that. But I've
Uh
played
huh.
all my life. My parents bought me a little red ukulele when I was just a little kid, and when I started to actually play it, they got me a successively better instruments through my life,
Uh
and
huh.
I'd love to actually to see that guitar that you were talking about, the Fender whatchamacallit that what was that guitar that y'all were
Uh,
talking about, the red
oh, the Mustang.
yeah,
The
Fred Fender Mustang. I have no idea what that is,
oh.
but
Uh huh.
anyway, sorry, I'm interviewing you again. Once
Oh no,
never
that's
mind.
fine. I enjoy that.
But yes,
I
there are a
come
lot
in
of
for a good
people.
reason.
There are a lot of people that play folk music, and there are a lot of people that play old time music in particular, and of course there are a lot of bluegrass players. If you go to like jam sessions and stuff around here, you've got to be prepared play bluegrass, and I can play sort of okay bluegrass banjo. I'm not great at it. It's a different style. I get a lot of finger motion, and if you play bluegrass, you have to have a real brief finger motion, and you have to use finger picks because of that.
Yeah.
And so I just don't, I can sort of play bluegrass, but not really. And I can sort of play bluegrass guitar. I can flat pick some, and I love to play the harmonica, and that's often how I fit in when I play with groups is playing the harmonica. And I play mandolin too. I enjoy that. I'm not great on the mandolin, but I play the mandolin finger style, which is sort of a little weird, but I like that.
Huh. That's
Um,
interesting.
and it is. You get this really beautiful sound. If you play mandolin at all, you should experiment with it because it just sounds really delicate and quite pleasant. Um, but I started getting interested in writing songs. My big brother took me to see a Bob Dylan concert here in Atlanta when I was first turning 15, and so that was his tour in 1965 where he was introducing the band, and so he came out and I'd already listened to some of his albums and so forth, and he came out on stage at first with just a stool and his guitar and a spotlight, and he played like a 45-minute set or something like that of just him, and then they closed the curtain and then they opened the curtain and he was there with his electric guitar and the band and people booed. I mean, it's just hard to imagine, but that was the mindset, back then, because he was violating the folk
Yes. Folk music
tradition
creed.
by playing electric music, and he played all those things. Like I remember they played "Ballad to the Thin Man." That was the one that just really knocked me out of my chair. I was
Yeah.
just awestruck by seeing that, and I'd never heard that song. This is when they introduced all that stuff, and Mr. Tambourine Man, I believe, and they played a bunch of stuff, and so that was very inspiring, and I never forgot that. And when I was in college, I did a little songwriting, and then as I got into life and doing my professional stuff, I did it less, and then I in the '90s, I socially started getting involved with a group of people, and we we realized that we all wrote songs. I had written some songs earlier, and so I dusted them off and brought them out to the group, and because we really originally started as like a Dylan, Beatles, you know, round kind of group, but then we started doing our own songs, and then we started writing songs, and we got into this thing where boy, we met every month, and everybody wanted to write a song every month, and so boy, you get into a habit like that, and you start writing songs,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so anyway, that's my history
Absolutely.
in
Well,
brief.
that's
I'm sure
great.
there are other things happened to me in my life, but we went to the
We'll
beach.
save them for next time.
I'll tell you about that later.
We got to hear something from you next time you're on.
Yeah.
So,
I really have enjoyed this. It's just fun seeing everybody, and I enjoy being here, and I hope that I can come again.
I hope so too. I'll see you if and when you do.
Very nice interviewing you.
Take care, George.
Hey, yeah, George, it'd be nice next time you come. Maybe you can play the mandolin. The rumor on the street is that you're an adequate mandolin player.
Very nearly adequate. I will work on attaining adequacy before my next appearance.
All right, we'll hold you to that. All right, we are now, let's see, we're in Decatur, Georgia, and now we are going to Vancouver, Washington for our last performer of the night. We are going to listen to Dave Irwin. Dave plays at a great named coffee house. The coffee house is called Latte Da. And at the Latte Da Coffee House open mic in Vancouver and various farmers markets around the area. He has upcoming shows on December 12th. He's going to be at the Artichoke Music in Portland with Stuart Campbell and Dave Dudley. January 11th of next year, Portland Folklore Society West Side Series in Beaverton, Oregon, with his band Faden by 9. All right, Dave, take it away.
Good evening. Good to be here again. I think it's my 4th time on Open Mic America, and I just want to make a few comments before I get busy. First of all, Michael and Nell, I love Nashville. Been there a few times. Played at the Springwater once, hang out at the Bluebird whenever I can. Coming back there in March, hope to do it all again. So congrats to you, and it's a great place to hang out and learn and play and just be. Also to my buddy Alan, who has a million great songs that are all good stories. So I don't know if he even has any weak songs. Known him for 40 years. We used to play together in a duet. So hope to see Alan back here doing more in the near future. Speaking of story songs, I have a couple of them, sort of based on fact. The first one is called Russell and Sarah, and it's loosely based on a couple that I know, but real loosely. And it's kind of about how fate sometimes deals us changes in life that we don't really expect. So here it comes. Well, Russell and Sarah decided to get married in the spring of the year. He wanted a big wedding, but all she wanted was for him to be near. They ordered the food, they ordered the wine. You know they got great beer. Yeah, Russell and Sarah decided to get married in the spring of the year. Well, Russell was a foodie, he was hands-on. He liked to can and bake. Sarah worked in high-tech. Yeah, she brought home most of the pay. His mother said she's a sensible girl. She knows just what to do. Her father worried about what the world was coming to. But they had an old Toyota, a cast iron frying pan. They had Wi-Fi, a futon, most everything needed for a woman and man. Well, they wanted to live in the city, you know, with a house and a yard. They could only afford a little place with just one car. But they shared stories each night over a candle and wine. They looked for the best in each other, found it most of the time. Then one day, the boss said to Sarah, "You better pack for Shanghai." He said, "You know those guys over there, ay, 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 ay. Well, they need a firm hand, just what you can provide." She went home to Russell and said, "Honey, honey, shall we give it a ride?" They had an old Toyota, a cast iron frying pan. They had Wi-Fi, a futon, most everything needed for a woman and man. Well, now Russell, he said fine by me, and he packed up his wooden spoons. Seattle was good, getting better all the time, but Shanghai, that's too cool. He'd been saving that money, saving up for grad school. But once in a while comes a thing in life, you just got to break the rule. Well, now Sarah thought she was pretty lucky. She had a great guy, but she could see that little thing right down deep in his eye. She knew he loved his town, his people, his work, his life. And when she thought about it, she thought, who needs Shanghai? They had an old Toyota, they had a cast iron frying pan, they had Wi-Fi, a futon, most everything needed for a woman and man. Might think that Sarah gave up that catbird seat. They went on to start a startup called eat and tweet. People send in food ideas that they post online, hooking up people who love to cook with those who love to dine. Now, Sarah has a staff of 5. She tells them what to do. They never thought it would go this way, but hey, who knew? They're becoming famous in certain foreign towns, and every night they toast the sunset over the Puget Sound. They got a new Toyota, a whole set of frying pans. They still got Wi-Fi, a futon, everything needed for a woman and man. They got a new Toyota Prius Prime, a whole set of frying pans, Wi-Fi and a futon, everything needed for a woman and man. This is not the end of their story, but it is the end of the song.
Hey, there you go.
Great lyrics.
Right. Thank you so much.
Long. Not the end of the story, but it's the end of the song.
Got into somehow. All right, next one, also a story about my grandfather. Mostly a true story. In fact, a little bit more mostly true than the last one was. So here it goes. It's called Regular Tuesday. One more time. It was Tuesday, not much going on, a regular Tuesday. Texas sun coming up strong. I was working on the books, just working. I didn't think to look. It was quiet, running like 1, 2, 3. Folks doing their thing, it was all okay, way things are supposed to be. He walked up, he didn't say word one. I looked up into the wrong end of a gun. There wasn't much to him, not a very big guy, but he was cold, steady, his eyes as blue as the sky. And he had a bag, he said, fill it up. I thought, really? Thing looks like a movie prop. But he held my gaze with that pistol raised. He said, I won't say it again. I swallowed once, and I began to begin. There was cash in the drawer. He took it all, but he was still hungry. We headed back to the vault. Just then Joe Van Cleve, the bank president, came in the front door. Now Joe's a big man, he ain't gonna stand for this kind of crap, that's for sure. But our man was ready. He didn't skip a beat. He told Joe just where to go to get in the bag with me. He loaded up $6,000 into that burlap bag. Then he split out the back. He said, you stay put, this the only time I'm gonna ask was, well, he set out running in a late model car. We chased him out past Jake Young's place. I guess he was going far. Hey, but we called the Rangers. I don't mean the baseball team. Those sirens wail that terrible tale that hot September day. You know, they never caught him. That bandit guy clean away. Well, he's doing all right. He's living high. That's 65 grand today. He lit out running model Chevrolet. We chased him out past Jake Young's place. I think he was going all the way. The town paper caught it. Associated Press got wind. We never got that money back, but can you believe it? Insurance paid up in the end. Dinner, smoking cigars while the children play, there might come a story about that man who got away. I can still smell the sweat rising off that day. I swear it happened just this way on an otherwise regular Tuesday.
Great story.
Let's get out of that one on stage.
Yeah, great stuff. All right, Dave. Two great songs. Let me pass you over to Robert, and we can learn a little bit more about you.
All right.
Lovely. Are most of your songs story songs like that?
Oh, I don't think most of them. I've kind of been on like a romantic song kind of phase for a couple of last 3 or 4 songs. How love works, how the challenges of being in love, staying in love. That's kind of been more of a theme for me lately, but these just, came out as stories, and there it is. Yeah, Russell and Sarah is actually about 10 years old, so I keep kind of working it, tweaking it a little bit, but yeah.
They're well told.
Thank you.
It seems to me they hold you while you explain and give more. They held very nicely with very nice accompaniment. Also, the guitar seemed just right to give filigree and fill in between lines and such, so that your attention went from the story to the guitar fill to back, right. In a way that kept it all moving. Very
Good.
nice.
Yeah, thanks.
How long have you been writing?
Oh, probably like a lot of us, 40 plus years. They've improved over time, and I'm involved in a Portland songwriting soiree group. We go to retreats and workshops, and then Alan mentioned the Matt Meehan workshops online has been really helpful to kind of pull out the ideas. I have found that I typically need a little bit of like boot in the butt to get an idea started, and those workshops really give you kind of like the theme or the prompt or whatever, and you can just kind of take off from there.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, actually the regular Tuesday, the prompt was write a first person story. Oh, it was Charles. I wanted to mention the first person idea. That goes back to that really powerful idea. So first person story of an event that happened to a relative before you were born. And I just been looking the other day in my box of clippings in the closet about the newspaper article about the bank robbery that my grandfather went through in 1954. So there it was. So yeah.
Great. Now, did you get part of the story there straight from your grandfather, or?
No, he barely ever talked about it. My grandmother mentioned that he'd been in a bank robbery, and he would never really mention it. But that article, I guess, stayed in a box someplace, ended up in my closet after all those years. And so when Matt mentioned that idea, I just went to that closet, and there it was. So, that one was easy. Some of them were not so easy.
Do you have others? You say you're going to songwriting workshops, but do you work with others at all in your songwriting? Do you write songs together with anyone there?
I haven't yet, but that's a great idea. Getting back to Michael and Nell in Nashville, I went to a Steve Seskin songwriting workshop in Nashville last January, and it was kind of like professional songwriters are talking about the collaboration they do, 2 and 3 people in a room for like hours together and just banging out ideas, and how just the process of just staying at it, without taking a break. I mean, take breaks obviously, but you don't go home until you have ideas on the paper, and that I think is pretty valuable. I used to think it was a magical process, waiting for the inspiration to find me in space, right? And it does once in a while, but a lot of times it's just you sit down and you start writing. I don't know what to write. I'm going to write about nothing. Oh, nothing rhymes with something. Something sounds like a Beatles song, and that sounds, and just ideas lead to ideas. And when I'm disciplined enough to do that, which is not very often, I get ideas. And I think, you'll hear that same stuff, I think, from all of us out there in songwriter land.
Yeah. And do you usually start with lyrics?
That's a pretty common question. Is it music first or to me? It's kind of, they both sort of hit me, boom, at the same time, and I get some words, and the words kind of fit to a melody that might be bouncing through my head. And I wrote one last week that had this really cool melody, like an A minor E to then a D minor something, and the only chorus that would fit was "Welcome to the Hotel California." So have to kind of watch out for not taking too much from other people. But I like the melody, and I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get a different kind of chorus into it. So anyhow.
Well, good luck on that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Again, liked your music a lot. Great storyteller for those you played tonight.
Okay, thank you.
See you again.
All right, good. So long.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Probably can't use those words. Oh, so here we are at the end of another great show. I'd like to thank our performers quickly, one by one. And when I say your name, feel free to wave to the audience. Norm Bowen, Steve Anderson, Charles Absher, Mike Simpson, Alan Clausen, Michael and Nell, George Eckert, and Dave Irwin. So, hey, everybody, remember to check our website, openmicamerica.com, for links to the music of all of our OMA performers. And you can find archives of all of our shows on our website. Also want to thank Robert Edgar, tonight's excellent interviewing host, and of course Capo Dave Williams, tonight's engineer, keeping the show flowing and getting streamed properly, and also he's our Open Mic America founder. And most importantly, I want to thank all of you people on YouTube, those of you watching the show live, and those of you who are watching hours, days, weeks, months from now. If you like our show, please spread the word. Don't keep it a secret. You can even download and print your own posters from our website and hang them somewhere where folks can see them. And very importantly, you can also get these cool t-shirts. Can you see my t-shirt? Yeah, it says Open Mic America. You can get your own T-shirt and design your own T-shirt with the logo. You want a small logo, you want a big logo. It's up to you. You can get that through our openmicamerica.com website. Please, very importantly, please check out your local and virtual open mics. We've listed the ones where our performers play under the local open mics tab on our website. So we're here the first and third Sundays of every month. So catch our next show in a couple of weeks. Same time, same station. If you're, if you need a remembrance, then just go to our website where we'll list our next show and the performers. Let's see, and I guess that's about it. So I'm going to make sure all of our performers have muted themselves and wave goodbye, everybody. And I'm going to say good night, America.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
We should be clear right now. My YouTube screen didn't show the button to quit. I had to find the back door to do it. This thing really has been trouble tonight. Anyway, thank you so much, performers. You were all great. And I'm booking now December 5th, December 19th. And Robert and Rich, thank you so much. December 5th, December 19th, and February 2nd. I'll send some emails out. And thanks so much. What a great night. Really, really enjoyed it.
So, it was. Hey, Dave. When the drawing? It's still December 15th.
Yeah, the
December
dates.
5th, December 19th.
No. I mean the drawing for the guitar.
December 1st to December 15th.
Hey, Daphne. It's not. I don't know. I can't stop it. Stop it. Okay, that was Daphne. It was still going. It was still. The
Thanks for doing it,
screen
guys.
froze.
My
It was
dinner's
like,
out there waiting. I'm going to take off, but thanks for all
okay,
the work,
take care.
Dave and
Thank
Rich.
you.
It was fun to do it, and all the rest of the players too. Good to hear
All
you
right.
guys. All
Hey,
right,
Dave,
so long.
Capo
Yeah.
Dave, the dates should be the 1st and the 15th in December.
I'm talking about. Oh, that's right. In December. I'm booking. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Are you sure of that?
December 1st is the first Sunday.
I'm thinking of a different month. Okay, as you were. It is what it is. But anyway, I'll send the emails out. Anyway, thanks so much. That's all. This has been a disaster, and I have no idea why.
We're still on YouTube, by the way.
Daphne said she was ending it.
Okay, maybe we'll end it by just signing off.
Well, I'm gonna end